So by your standards, Pete Hegseth should be deported to an El Salvador prison? Should Pete Hegseth be deported? Should Pete Hegseth be deported to an El Salvador prison? Yes or no?
I'm not going to be defending him. A few things I wanted to say, like, what I know is, like, are you going to go to, like, Piers Morgan again? I want to see you and that your friends, like,
Of course. Yeah, Piers Morgan. I will continue to do his show. Absolutely, 100%.
Get Leonard in there too, if you can. And he's a really nice guy.
Leonard is a really nice guy. They did a good, and by the way, thanks to Paul Lance and Leonard for filling in for me Thursday, Friday. They did a good job. So what do you?
What I'm saying is,
yeah, go ahead.
What I'm saying is, like, get like, Leonard too. I kind of want to see you and Leonard, like, debate, who do I see, like, would be, like, a good person, like, to debate against. But I'm saying, like,
yeah, no doubt. All right, so let me ask you a question, X, if I may, because you've called into this show before and you said Donald Trump's doing an okay job. So a judge just decided that Donald Trump sending the National Guard and troops into LA is unlawful. Are you still okay with Donald Trump pressing the issue and trying to send in the National Guard to, say, Chicago or a Baltimore? Are you okay with that?
If the judge said no and the citizens don't want it, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's
right. But Donald Trump has defied the Supreme Court. He's already defied judges' rulings, right? You are aware of that. Are you okay with our president defying a judge and defying the Supreme Court?
Listen, the Supreme Court, are his people, and if they're saying no, then there's a good reason.
He's already defied the Supreme Court when it came to Garcia, when Garcia was deported to El Salvador. So he's already defied the Supreme Court, and I'm sure he will do it again.
Then that's wrong, because the Supreme Court is more on his side. Biased towards his side. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be defending him. If he's wrong, I'm not his dad.
What has he done right? What has he done right in the first 7 months of this administration?
I mean, okay, fine. You want to talk about, I already told you, I think it's, deportation standards, I think it's decent.
So you think it's decent not to give people due process and to arrest people outside of courtrooms and separate families and mothers and fathers that have lived in this country for decades, that have never committed a violent crime in their life, getting no due process at all and being deported to countries where they're not even from, in El Salvador prisons? And you're okay with that?
Can I know people who have been deported without due process? Can I know names? That's what I'm saying. Can I know names?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean names? It's happening every day. We see it on video. It says in our Constitution, any person deserves the right to due process. When you put cuffs on somebody and you don't give them a day in court, they're not getting due process. What do you mean names? It's happening everywhere, every day. Thousands of people it's happening to every day. People are not getting due process. And you're sending people to prisons that are some of the highest maximum security prisons in the world with literally no due process, people that have never committed a violent crime in their life and never been even charged, let alone convicted of a violent crime. That's the definition of not getting due process. You know that that's happening.
I'm saying it's their names, though. That's what I'm saying. Because what
do you mean? Okay, Garcia. Mr. Garcia was sent to an El Salvador prison, never convicted of a violent crime in his life. Did he get due process?
I saw his knuckles, even though I don't like this guy.
That was superimposed. Okay, so first of all, is it against the law to have a tattoo in this country? Is it against the law to have a tattoo in this country? Is it against the law to have a tattoo? Please answer the question.
It's not the tattoo. It's like what it said.
Okay. Is it against the law to have a tattoo when you don't like what it says?
It says MS-13.
Is it against the law to have a tattoo in this country that says, by the way, he didn't, but is it against the law, hypothetically speaking, is it against the law to have a tattoo that says MS-13? If I went to a tattoo shop, or you went right now, and I said, I want MS-13 tattooed on my knuckles, would I be arrested? Is that against the law? Sir? Is it against the law? Yes or no? It's a pretty simple question. I'm asking you a very simple question.
I don't want them in the civilized world.
It's not what, okay, but it's not what you want. We're talking about the law. I'm asking you a very specific question. Listen, there's a lot of people that I don't want in my neighborhood, like MAGA people. But guess what? If you're a MAGA it's not against the law. I might not like it, but that doesn't mean that I think you should be deported to El Salvador. I'm asking you the same question again. You mentioned Garcia's tattoos. By the way, he does not have MS-13 on his knuckles. That was photoshopped. But let's go back to my original question, which you still have not answered. Is it illegal for somebody in the United States of America to get a tattoo, even if you don't like it, or if it says something like MS-13? Is that against the law? Yes or no?
Enrique Garcia was deported also.
Why won't you answer my question, though? I've asked you now 8 times. I'm going to ask it again. Is it against the law in this country to have a tattoo that says MS-13? Yes or no? Why can't you answer the question?
He was deported.
I'm going to ask you one more time, X, because you're frustrating me, okay? I'm trying to have a civil conversation with you. But when I ask you the same question, hold on. When I ask you the same question 10 times and you don't answer it, it's very frustrating. I asked you, okay, thank you. Why did it take you 8 times to answer it? Of course it's not illegal. It's not about what you don't like. So do you want to live, hold on. So do you want to live in a country where people don't get due process? Even if they don't break the law because you don't like a tattoo that allegedly is on somebody's knuckles. Is that the country that you want to live in, sir?
He was deported years ago.
Sir, he was sent to an El Salvador prison, never convicted of a violent crime, into one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world. And you're defending it because you don't allegedly like one of his tattoos. Do you understand why that is wrong? That is why he did not get due process. Just because you don't like... Okay, so should Pete Hegseth be deported? Let me ask you a question.
He was deported years ago.
Let me ask you a question. By the way, he wasn't deported to his home country, and he was deported to an El Salvador prison. So Pete Hegseth has a tattoo that says 100% white. I don't like that tattoo. Somebody could say that has white supremacist tendencies. So by your standards, Pete Hegseth should be deported to an El Salvador prison? Should Pete Hegseth be deported? Should Pete Hegseth be deported to an El Salvador prison? Yes or no?
I'm not going to be defending him.
Should Pete Hegseth be deported to an El Salvador prison? Yes or no?
No.
No. Then why should Garcia be deported? Because you don't like his tattoo?
He was illegal. That's what.
No. Then if you're illegal, then guess what? If you're undocumented, it doesn't matter whether you've committed a violent crime or not. You're okay with them being deported, not to their home country, and number 2, to one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world. You're okay with that?
You just want to argue. You don't want to.
I'm asking you a very specific question. You don't want to answer. I'm going to ask it again. I'm not talking about if somebody is just undocumented, because Garcia was an undocumented immigrant who had never been convicted of a violent crime. My question to you is, are you okay with anybody in this country that is an undocumented immigrant sent to an El Salvador prison, one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world, where they are beaten, where they are forced to sleep on their knees, where they are given 1 meal a day? If you are undocumented in this country, are you okay with people being treated that way without the right to due process?
This is, again, it's about Enrique Garcia. That's what it's about. That's what the question is.
No, it's not. I'm giving you one example. There are many other examples of people that have been treated that way. Why won't you answer that question?
I've answered it. You're trying to ask me the same question in multiple different...
So answer.
But why do you want to ask me the same question?
Answer it. You haven't answered it. Are you okay with that?
I already answered about Enrique Garcia.
Answer the question. Why won't you answer?
I refuse to answer that question.
You refuse. Okay, then I refuse to have a conversation with you because you're a coward. You're a coward because you know that's not right. You know that everyone in this country deserves the right to due process. Doesn't matter whether they're undocumented or not, because it says any person in our Constitution. And you don't want to answer the question because you know it's wrong. Everybody has the right to due process. I don't want violent criminals in this country, especially if they're undocumented. But that's not what we're talking about here. And you want to defend Donald Trump until the cows come home, and then you refuse to answer a direct question because you know it'll make you sound bad if you answer it the right way or the wrong way. It's ridiculous.